Crosby, and coming up on WVU News, I'll tell you about a center in Morgantown that is working to prevent child abuse. Social media is playing a large role in the way both presidential candidates communicate with their voters. I'm Morgan Malarski, and straight ahead on WVU News, I'll tell you how citizens are being influenced right at their fingertips.
Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump went head-to-head once again. I'm Kristen Toole, and coming up, I'll tell you how their second debate is influencing the 2016 presidential election. Our Emmy Award-winning WVU News starts now.
This year's presidential debates are the most watched in U.S. history, and the public has plenty to say about them on Twitter. I'm Hannah Getz.
And I'm Kristen Toole. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and people here in Morgantown are doing their part to walk for a cure.
These stories and more on WVU News, an Emmy Award-winning newscast produced by television journalism students right here at West Virginia University. Nearly 2,000 children are abused and neglected each day in America.
That's right, Hannah. Reporter Quinn Crosby is here to tell us more. Quinn.
Thanks, Kristen and Hannah. Child abuse is a nationwide problem, with a report of abuse made every 10 seconds. But one advocacy center in Mon County is working to lower these numbers. A nationally accredited child advocacy center in Mon County is doing their part in helping prevent abuse and keeping kids safe. I sat down with the center's director to learn more about how they are helping children in crisis situations.
Child abuse affects thousands of families in West Virginia, and currently there are more than 4,800 children under state custody. The Monongalia County Child Advocacy Center is a nationally accredited center that ensures guidance, protection, and help to children and families affected by abuse.
The role of the Mon County Child Advocacy Center is to work with kids who have been abused or neglected, or those who are at risk, and we provide a child-friendly, safe environment where kids can be interviewed, educated, and healed.
West Virginia Child Advocacy Centers have seen over 3,000 new clients in the 2016 fiscal year, and 147 of these have been in Monongalia County. But this does not necessarily mean that abuse is increasing.
The more that we work together as a team, the more we're going to be able to prosecute people who abuse kids, and they will no longer be out there hurting kids and family members. So that is why we have seen the incidence of child abuse decrease over time.
I spoke with one Morgantown resident that was not able to utilize these services during her abusive childhood.
When I was younger, it was always, if you ever tell anybody, I will kill you, was my threat. And it was just like, when you're a 5-year-old and you hear that, you're just like.
The Child Advocacy Center works to prosecute abusers, and all services are free of charge. They also offer extended hours for families with busy schedules.
The center also holds fundraising events and prevention training throughout the county. You can learn more by visiting the website at the bottom of your screen. Hannah and Kristen, back to you.
Thanks for that report, Quinn. Well, Kristen, all eyes are on Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump as they throw countless personal shots at one another in the last few weeks of the presidential race.
And Hannah, with the third debate recently behind us, I took the time to analyze the second debate, where tempers flared and questions were raised as the race to the White House continues.
Nasty, mean, personal. These are words ABC News used to describe the second presidential debate. And Professor Patrick Hickey believes this was all because of recent events.
Both candidates were in a very kind of difficult situation, right? No one wants to kind of be publicly embarrassed, as Donald Trump was with that tape coming out, and no one wants to hear all this nasty stuff said about them, as was going on with Hillary Clinton. So I think you saw how they react.
66.5 million people tuned into this presidential debate, and according to a poll from CNN, 57% of people polled thought Clinton won, while 34% thought Trump won the debate. Even with Clinton seemingly ahead, a recent report shows that 1 out of every 9 voters is still undecided. And some voters here in Morgantown say the debate was far from what they wanted to see from presidential candidates.
It was interesting, you know, you see Trump attacking her, but then you see her rolling her eyes.
I felt that it was very, comical.
I just wish that they would
stick with the issues instead of the slandering of each other.
This debate has sparked many criticisms, but Professor Hickey believes those 90 minutes won't change what he thinks will be a Clinton victory.
She already had this very big, commanding lead, I think bigger than most people realize, and after the debate, it's going to be even bigger.
The Huffington Post reports that after the debate, Clinton leads Trump by 11 points among likely voters. CNN just reported that the swing state polls show that Trump's path to the White House is narrowing.
In several, the Republican Party's most generous donors urged the RNC to cut ties with Trump, stating lasting damages on the party's image. The second presidential debate was the most tweeted event in American history, Kristen, with more than 17 million tweets sent during the 90-minute period.
That's right, Hannah, and the #1 topic among those tweets was related to Trump's treatment of women. Continuing our team coverage of the presidential race, Morgan Malarski joins us now from Social Square with the latest in social media and pop culture news. Morgan?
#debates have people buzzing on Twitter. Both presidential candidates gained thousands of followers each during the second presidential debate alone. I took a further look at how social media is a game changer this campaign season. The use of social media has made the 2016 campaign unlike any other presidential election. With the election less than 3 weeks away, social media platforms are shaping personal views and political biases.
Politicians use social media as a way to get their information out to the voters for free. It's a great way for people to engage in various content and information that they want to put out.
Candidates have complete control of their own social channels and how much they post. Twitter receives the most attention by far from any other social media account. Donald Trump leads the following in Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, the most being on Twitter with over 12 million followers, almost 3 million more than Hillary Clinton. According to research, 6 out of 10 Americans get news from social media. 35% of people ages 18 to 29 said that social media was the most helpful source of information about the election.
On Twitter, it's more people just talking about Trump.
News is more biased, I feel. Twitter is like kids my age.
I hear it mostly off of Twitter, but I see it on Instagram a good bit.
Social media gives voters the ability to get new information about the candidates 24/7, and it is playing a role in this campaign like we have never seen before. Clinton walked away from the debate with 25,000 new followers, while Trump gained 16,000 followers. You can follow the candidates using their Twitter handles at the bottom of the screen. Hannah and Kristen, back to you.
Breast cancer is the most common cancer diagnosis in women in the United States. Nearly 1 in 8 women are diagnosed in their lifetime. However, making strides against breast cancer is one way people are celebrating survivorship and hope. Participants gathered in Morgantown recently to raise nearly $40,000 for breast cancer research, education, and patient services. The 5K walk put on by the American Cancer Society consisted of 42 teams. The event serves as a reminder to current breast cancer patients and survivors that they are not walking alone. The American Cancer Society is currently funding over $74 million in breast cancer research.
Kristen, did you know that more than 2/3 of first-year college students report feeling homesick? But WVU is trying to help make the transition easier by creating Fall Family Weekend.
Reporter Jacqueline Fenton joins us now from Studio B at the Media Innovation Center to tell us more about how the university is curing those first-year blues. Jacqueline?
Thanks, Kristen and Hannah. As many as 1 in 3 college freshmen won't return to school for their sophomore year. But WVU is trying to change those numbers and keep first-year students in school by inviting families to Fall Family Weekend.
The national average of freshman students returning to their universities after 1 year is 70%. However, WVU beats the average with 77%. One of the biggest factors contributing to these students not returning to campus is homesickness.
A little bit homesick. I've always been really close with my parents, like especially my mom. So I try to call her every night and make sure, just see how our days are going.
The university prides itself on its high freshman retention rate by hosting an annual Fall Family Weekend.
Events are held all over WVU's campus, including a picnic with the president on the downtown campus, bringing your family to the Rec on the Evansdale campus, and there were even discounted tickets to see a show at the Creative Arts Center.
Assistant Vice President of the Parent Program, Sabrina Cave, says they strategically plan the event during midterms.
Many of our our families haven't seen their students since they dropped them off in August, so it's a great time for them to reconnect.
And WVU President Gordon Geese suggests that students get involved in as much as they can.
Take advantage of everything we're doing here. If you take advantage, find your place, you'll never be homesick because this is your home now.
The WVU Mountaineer Parents Club also offers bus trips to surrounding areas for students to go home for Thanksgiving and Christmas break. The Mountaineer Parents Club has over 20,000 members. Current and past Mountaineer families can join the club by following the link at the bottom of the screen. Kristen and Hannah, back to you at the Waterfront Studio.
While some students are figuring out how to settle into college, some student athletes are thinking about life after they get their degree.
That's right, Hannah. Sports reporter Reagan Bailey tells us about the WVU athletes that have achieved some of their greatest career goals after graduation.
There's over 1,500 players in the NFL. I'm Reagan Bailey, and coming up on WVU News, I'll tell you how 21 athletes have influenced the team here at West Virginia University.
Ready to go?
Sometimes the most important lessons are learned outside the classroom.
Are we going the right way?
When you chase the unknown, take a risk, and push beyond your boundaries. That's when you discover who you really are. Every journey starts with a first. Let's go.
Many college football players dream of making it into the NFL, but only 2% of college players actually become pro football stars.
Sports reporter Ashley Rogers is here to tell us about how some Mountaineers are playing in the big leagues. Ashley?
Thanks, Hannah and Kristen. Football season for college and NFL players is in full swing. As the Mountaineers head into their 5th conference game against Oklahoma State, many of these players are just building their resume. WVU has produced 179 drafted players since the first draft in 1936, but the current coaching staff has had over 20 players go pro. Sports reporter Reagan Bailey discovers what it's like for WVU to see such success in their athletes.
WVU currently has 21 players that are still active in the NFL. Defensive coordinator Tony Gibson has helped 6 of those 21 players make it to the league.
It's been really good to see Carl this past weekend, and last night to get to see Worley start on Monday night. KJ Dillon. We just got guys all over the place right now, and they're all playing pretty well.
With WVU producing an average of 4 NFL draft picks per year and 4 first-round picks in the last 5 years, it's helped motivate players to a whole new level.
Seeing those guys, achieve their goals at that level makes me want to, work harder so I can get there and do the same thing.
Not only does seeing former Mountaineers motivate current players, but Coach Sider has noticed a difference in recruiting young and upcoming Mountaineers.
That's the #1 benefactor of putting guys in the NFL, and guys want to know, hey, you guys putting guys in the league, whether they make it or not. I mean, that helps you with recruiting, because every kid, want to change their life. The first way to change your life as a football player is getting drafted playing on Sundays.
The 2016 NFL Draft was among the best in football program history. A total of 5 players were taken during the draft, and multiple were signed to a free agent contract. If you want to find out more on these players, visit the link at the bottom of your screen. Reagan Bailey, WVU Sports, Morgantown.
WVU has 38 upperclassmen on the team, so tune in on April 27th through April 29th to see what Mountaineers could get drafted to the NFL next. Hannah and Kristen, back to you.
We will be watching our favorite Mountaineer players during the draft. Well, that's going to do it for this week's edition of WVU News. You can visit us online on our website.
You can also watch any of our shows on YouTube, and please follow us and our reporters on Twitter. I'm Kristen Toole.
And I'm Hannah Getz. Thanks for watching WVU News. We'll see you next time.